how do we now enforce truth in society as opposed to what the despot or what the leader or what the richest guy says? How do we begin to make these things? Because we learn in school that 1 + 1 is 2.
Yes.
But we're willing to change 1 + 1 to 5
yes,
if somebody is willing to pay us enough money for it.
Yeah,
or if somebody who we respect says
yes.
1 + 1 is 5.
Yes.
So how do we, as young people, as people wanting to build a new continent, how do we inculcate these values into ourselves and stand up against people who have been opposing this truth, and how do we make it the bedrock of our civilization?
You see, authorities will become the truth when truth is not the authority.
Okay.
And the way to change that in our
society,
socio-economic, yes, our society, economic development and society, Africa as a whole, is to begin to do massive propagation of principles. We must begin to renew the mind of our people. Enlightenment, massive enlightenment. It must be, inculcated into our educational system, into our churches and our religious organizations, into our families, into our news media, into our entertainment industry, into media, into everything that can, we must just, into our curriculum, into our school system, everything. We must begin to elevate principles. We must begin to tell people and begin to talk about it so that, for example, when our people are doing Nollywood, we are not just doing Nollywood because somebody can laugh. For example, right now we are doing this program, maybe we have 70 people or 50 people watching. I don't know how many people are watching. But when somebody is coming on and he's saying, the person that is against you in your father's house, you will see them with 7,000 people will be sitting down to watch. Why? Because the information that is, we become what we listen to. You see, just like we become what we eat, it is what makes you who you are, what makes me who I am. It is the subtotal amount of information, values, principles, and the things that inform your decisions that make you to be who you are. So basically, it's information you have been fed with. So the information our society has been fed with from cradle, from very small, when we were born, they are these superstitious, that they are based on superstition. So we must reverse that and begin to make sure that information that people are receiving every time, for example, if we want to do Nollywood film, we are not putting babalawos and witchcraft there as because we just want to get, yes. But when you communicate that, that's what you have as a society. So we must change that. We must begin to say it is principle. You see, these people acted by principle, everything worked out. They acted by that, they didn't come anywhere. So that must enter into Nollywood, for example. So the same thing, it must enter into schools. The same thing, it must enter into politics. The same thing, it must enter into media every day. That principles is what holds societies together. Value systems.
As opposed to superstition.
Yes, and I've written a book on that. It's called How to Know the Purpose, the Calling and Purpose of a Nation. Yes, how to know the purpose, the calling and nation purpose. And so there I wrote about that. And then about Nigeria in particular, I've also written a book, Nigerian Leadership Question. But in that book, The Calling and Purpose of Nation, I've even identified the 20 main value systems that Nigeria is built on. That we can now go back to extract and use it to build a new society. So the value
based on our national anthem.
Yeah, no, national anthem and the historical books of Nigeria.
Okay.
Yes. So the burden that are placed upon our forefathers, the burden that they carried and communicated, that is where you will be able to discover the values upon which the nation is built. Okay. So I've already been able to extract that. There are 20 of them. 20 value systems upon which they are the block, they are the building block upon which we can build a new Nigeria.
Interesting. Pastor, I was able to compile.
But if you are not from Nigeria, I've also written in that book, The Purpose and Calling of Nations, how every country, how everybody can discover the calling and the purpose and the value system of their country. That's the book they have just shown.
Thank you very much, Pastor. I want us to begin to question every single thing that we know. Anything in your life that is not based on fact, anything that is not based on cause and effect, anything that is not based on research, that is not based on truth, you need to begin to change it today. We need to begin to ask questions of our leaders, ask questions of our in fact, question yourself.
What I believe?
Why do I
behave like this?